a word problem that uses measurement. Okay, so who wants to do the word problem?
I know. The class found a snake. The snake measured 5 inches long. A couple of days later, the snake was 6 more inches. Okay. How long is the snake now?
So what two numbers are we using in this word problem?
5 and 6.
5 and 6, right? 5 and 6.
5 and 6 is 11.
So are we adding? Are we adding or subtracting? Adding. What two numbers are we adding?
5 and 6.
5 and 6, right? So
5 plus 6 is 11.
Here.
okay, we just put it on the bottom, right?
Hey.
So 5 plus 6, and what is that equal?
11.
So how long's the snake now?
11 inches.
11 inches. Good. So now that we know what measurement is, somewhat, or what measurement is, I'm going to introduce you guys to a YouTube clip that explains it a little bit more.
Okay.
Who's George?
Use a clock to see how fast you can run. How hard is it outside? Use a thermometer. Can you jump higher than the smallest tree? Are you taller than a frog can jump? Do you weigh more than your dog or cat? Can you run faster than a turtle?
So, just from watching this video and being in the world and living and just living your life, where have you seen measurements or things that you have to measure before? Ethan?
Someone I saw, my grandpa, he measured, I forgot what he measured, but he measured something. Like a thickness.
Was he building?
Yeah, thickness.
So, he was measuring like feet and inches? Right? Yeah.
Every time I see my sister have a birthday party,
I don't have
and
it.
we have like a little wall that's kind of high, and then we use to measure us like to get
Like a
something,
volleyball?
and then we do this, and then if I can't do it, then my sister will.
Oh, okay. So you're measuring your height at each age. So you're almost measuring how tall you are, but you're almost also measuring how old you are, which is measuring time as well. Yes.
My dad was measuring.
You measure the walls. Okay, so that's doing distance, so you have feet and inches. Everyone measure their or before we do that, can someone give me an idea, just an estimation of how long your desks would be and how many of your handprints? So if I was to measure your desk, how many do you think it would be?
Did you place your
Yeah. You think it'd
It would
be
be
24
24 hands
hands?
beforehand for the length of your
Okay.
desk.
What do you think? 20 hands? Okay. Equal? 88?
Wow.
Wow, that's a big desk. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're together.
Oh, you don't know?
5,
5?
Oh.
Okay, you have another one?
70.
70. Okay, now if we could all measure our desks with our hands, just go right up along the side and see how many of your hands.
How many of your hands is like
Right, just like that.
climb with your hands. You can't continue to go up. Here, climb with your hands.
But your full
Put your hand
hand.
here.
So,
You have
1,
one, you have a hand.
5.
how many of mine?
1, 2, 3.
The bottom's bigger.
Wait.
Mine
Okay.
is bigger. Look, in the bottom.
So are we all done estimating how big our desks are?
Yeah.
Well, that would actually be measuring our desks because we use our
Together for
actual.
our table is 28.
So, okay. So what did other people have for their desks? How many hands were there?
25.
24. So then along the bottom of your desk is 12 for you? Okay. So that's just one form of measurement that we can have. It's not completely accurate because we're not using inches or centimeters, but it's an estimation, Ethan. But it's an estimation because we're using our hands to measure.
I'm number 19.
So we even measure other things too, like people. Like me compared to Miss Melanie. Who do you think is bigger? Who's taller? Me?
You're the tallest
I am? And how do you know that?
Because men's are short and men's are big.
Oh.
Yes, some men's are bigger than women.
So then looking at us, who do you think is taller, Miss Mimi or Miss Melanie?
Between the two girls, who's taller, me or Nene?
So that's another form of estimation because we're not measuring them, so we're just looking at it and taking a guess.
Do a concept map. A concept map are just words that relate to measurement. So like, what do we measure with? What do we measure?
It's orange.
Like for example, you can measure to my height, the desk, the table.
So anything you know about measurement, let us know what you know about measurement. Anything you know about measurement. What you measure, how you measure, when you measure, anything you know about the word measurement. What comes to mind when you think about measuring?
I always want to measure stuff.
So what words come to mind?
How tall are you?
So height.
How tall?
How tall? So like the height maybe. Good.
Or how tall your, or measure it, or measure your hand, how tall it is.
So like maybe like
Like
how big?
Yeah, how high.
How high?
No,
Oh,
like
the length.
this.
Also like the length.
When you measure your hand,
And go up. Also
So
like
how
the length.
long something
How
is?
long? So like the length.
That's long.
Long.
I know one.
What have you got, Gianni?
How long is the cardboard?
So when we're thinking about objects, so we measure objects. So measuring things, so figuring out how big something is.
What does that say? Handwriting?
So it's measurement. I want you all to think, has anybody ever baked a cake or brownies or cookies? What do you have to do? Do we just throw flour in or what do we have to do with it?
put it
Measure the flour.
Right, so has anybody used measuring cups
And
or
it's-
teaspoons? So
and
we've
it's
used it with baking, right?
and it's ingredients.
Right, so measuring ingredients, right?
And count how many eggs you put in the
Cake.
yeah.
Right.
Cake is easy to spell. C-A-K-E.
Cake.
That's how you spell
How many letters is that?
3.
3?
4.
4? So that's another form of measurement.
How long a word is. Has inches, so we have 8 inches on this ruler, and you're going to be measuring objects in your math journal. We will give you a measurement journal. I'll teach you how to use it in just a second. So when we have our ruler, the way we measure things is we start right here at the 0, at the very edge of the
You have
paper.
a key.
Yes. So I'm going to measure a key. So I'm going to show an example of how to measure something. So I have my key. Did you estimate that? Very good.
You estimate too? That's good.
It's about, he said it's about 2 inches. Do you guys agree?
It's 3
Yeah.
inches.
Oh.
3 inches.
No? All right. So I'm going to put my key on here. It's just over the 2, right?
Oh.
So how much would you say this is?
2 inches.
So it's about 2 inches.
What does it look like?
So then on your measurement journal, so I did the first one for you. I measured the key, right? So this is an example. So on this column, you're going to write down or draw a picture of what you measured. You don't have to, spelling doesn't matter here. If you need help figuring out what something is, so like I have a popsicle stick or a Q-tip, just spell it however you sound it out, and then you can draw a picture of it as well. And then you're going to write down how long it is, what number it is. You can say it's almost a certain number, or you can just use the number, last number it passed, right? Okay. It's easy?
Eat the pen.
On these plates, there are a bunch of different objects that you can measure. So we have a glue stick. Don't open the objects. Don't use the objects. They're just used to measure. So we have a glue stick, a ping pong ball. Yeah. With the ball though, don't bounce it. Just keep it on your desk and put it back on the plate once you're done. We have a playing card. Does anybody know what these are? Q-tips.
A few inches 7.
So we have a couple of manipulatives from around the room. And I think that's about it. You can also choose, you can only measure things one time. So if I do number 2 and measure a playing card, I can only measure each object once. So there may not be 7 objects, so you can use other objects. So I see Ethan has crayons in his desk. He can measure crayons. You can measure your finger. You can measure your pencil if it's shorter than 8 inches, or your eraser like your Uzi has. So you're going to go and measure at least 7 things. You guys, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you go ahead and you measure how it is, and then you say how long it is.
I'm measuring this.
So go ahead, measure. Alright, measure it and put it back in the rest of your group members. Here, we got to start at the very beginning.
Look at it became it is 5. It is
When we
almost
measure,
2.
we have to start at the very beginning. Now we'll
Look at it.